All right, I didn't make this. Actually, I just painted this the maroon color that I wanted, but I just downloaded it. So you can see here's the scenes that are set up. Here's the working scene post layer there. This is the black line scene. This is kind of cool. Render plan. Now, the rendering in SketchUp is not photorealistic. That's what Thea is for. Thea is a fully biased and unbiased rendering engine. What I actually did do, though, is, I believe, perhaps I did not. I thought I set up my, here we go. Do I have my host area? Host area. There we go. Scatter object. I'm just going to do grass, even though you're never going to see long grass. Load. I can do anything I want to. Pick the area. I'm going to make it all face up. All right. So what we have here is we've got grass that is instanced in, and they're actually three-dimensional grass. Should be there. Now I can put rocks in, and I can do altitude scatter, so that the higher you go up the mountain, the less there are of like trees or following a path that it cuts out along a path. I mean, I can do anything like that. If I want to add daisies or any type of flower that I can render, I mean, I can do anything. If I want to build a extension, 3D Arc Studio, Tree Maker. Let's make a new tree. We're not going to make a tree. Actually, we're going to make a flower. Generic grass, plant, tulip. Let's do a flowering plant. I like that. Generic flowering plant. Okay, we'll put one of those in. I'm going to stick that there. Now it's amongst the grass. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to lower it so that the perspective is something that you can look at. Rotate it in. Oop. Rotate it in. And lower it. The purpose of this then is so that you can see an idea what the grass looks like. Let me get rid of this. Let me choose a rendering engine. I'm going to pick the Presto render. We're going to pick in Thea. We're going to reload the information. It's going to start collecting the data. This is an interpretive engine. This is what it allows me to do is it allows me to go in and actually modify anything, whether it's my viewpoint or whatever, and it will pick up the rendering based on what it is that we do. So it's rendering. Each one of those little red boxes that you saw earlier, there was 300,000 of those boxes. Those are the polygon faces. Those 300,000 polygon faces represent the instancing in of this grass material that it's utilizing. It's going to take it a second to render because I'm using the GPU. Both I've got two graphical processing units on this video card. Both of them have either they have 16 or 8 megs of memory on the or gig on the card, but then also the CPU. Typically, you're only going to use the CPU for rendering, but for interactive rendering, what you want to do is you actually want to use the rendering associated with the GPU, but you don't want it to crash, and it crashes frequently because it'll overload the drivers. Now, the colors that you see for the actual slide and everything, those are not optimized colors. Those are colors that are just dumped right out of SketchUp. So typically what I would end up doing is I would go in and I would do all the colorizing in Thea and then put an IBL background, set up the shading, set up everything. Obviously, okay, so here what I'm going to do is, if it allows me to get up, because I don't have my hot buttons on this setup. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to minimize it. I'm going to minimize it. Okay, I'm going to minimize it. I'm going to bring up the scene itself. I'm going to make the box a rendering window smaller. What I should probably do is I should probably just a second. No, you get the picture. Close that out, open this, rotate this down and out, move it up. I'm going to grow this plant a little bit. Remember, I just rendered this on the fly. Now, this isn't an instance plant. This is a plant that's actually in, there we go. It's an instance plant, or not an instance plant. It's an actual plant. But this was generated using what are called L strings or L parser strings. Yeah, it's against the ground. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another render, start it over, bring that down. Actually close it again. It's not being overly cooperative. It is not being overly cooperative. Bring it down and then bring it up and then pull it down. Double click, bastard, double click, there we go. All right, so I'm going to do it in Thea window. I'm going to move this over so you can get a look at the tree specifically. There's the Presto, GPU, we're going to reset everything. I hit it, I'm just going to start collecting data here. Now what you're going to see is you're going to see a view, if we're lucky. There we go. All right, so the IR portion of this is interactive. So as I scroll in, so too does the window. Let's see what this renders out to, just roughly. You know how it looks. Looks like we got some grass that's actually growing, came up and through right there through the. Anyway, you get the rough idea. This is, as it continues to render, it's going to do a better and better job. If I rotate in, I should have paused the render. Anyway, you get the idea.